potential that you get rejected
work instead of having cocktail.
Lavish ones. You know, some of the solutions.
considered to be the or, even though, how can you set up a neighborhood killed so easily. So that's very important.
The past few years have been big years for Gearbox Souls. This happens to be the 92nd anniversary of playwright Karel Capek's R.U.R. There he is right there, which introduced the term robot to audiences in Prague back in 1911. Now, since then, no one has appreciated the word more than Hollywood, which has given us some memorable mechanical people. Joining us now is physics professor from Seton Hall University, Jose Lopez, and always good to see you. We always have some fun topic to talk about.
Right.
So we're going from real life to real life.
Real life. Movie reels, that is. And robots, just like you said, the word came from, it's a Slavic word for worker. So that is where the robot word has been come from. And that's kind of been what robots have been doing. They've been manufacturing, been building stuff for us for many years. And that's where the fear has kind of come, although if you look at the Hollywood side.
Well, there's that Hollywood side that maybe the robots are now taking some of the roles, but even taking some jobs from people.
Yeah, I mean, one of the very first movie that really started the genre of robots was Metropolis, the German movie, 1927. Then it had a robot Maria, which was a robot that replaced a human and started a revolution. And that has kind of permeated throughout the rest of the movies in Hollywood, where there's this kind of fear of robots that they're going to take over, they're going to surpass humans, and that's kind of been a perception throughout. It's changed a little bit here and there up until recent Hollywood movies, which are more positive.
Well, some of them can do so much. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I saw one at a biotech convention, and this robot could do virtually everything. Sure. But it's also strange, like, to see the human side, like where people become attached to him, like in Star Wars with R2-D2. Right.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of robots have become sidekicks. And in essence, that is kind of what is happening in reality. You see a lot of robots now moving into healthcare. You have robots that are used for surgeries, for spinal surgeries, and the Da Vinci robot is found in most major hospitals these days for doing surgeries. They don't do them automated by themselves, and that is kind of the perception thing. There is a surgeon, a real human surgeon, working with them in conjunction and using it, and the movement are much more precise. But the robots have not replaced human surgeons, or pretty much in anything in society at this point.
And I was going to say, I mean, I guess there's pros and cons. One, if there's any kind of human error, it eliminates that. But what about if the robot makes an error? Who's checking on him? That's
the thing. They're designed just for the one task, and in many cases, they are much more precise. I mean, in car manufacturing, for example, welding and putting together joints and the noxious fumes that come from that, you don't want to expose humans to that. So robots are the best things for those kind of jobs.
What about flying airplanes?
Well, that's the thing. There is no robot that flies airplanes. So autopilot is not a robot that flies a plane. There's still a pilot making sure that it stays on course. And these droids that, like we heard earlier this morning in Iran, that fell there, there's still somebody piloting that somewhere. So it's none of them are autonomous where they're moving by themselves, like, especially in the war bots, not like Terminators that are autonomous and do whatever they want and try to go out and.
Well, since you know so much about these robots and you're a professor, what's the most amazing robot you have seen?
The most amazing robot I have seen has been these healthcare robots that work with patients on helping them move them from place to place. They actually express feelings now, and they're kind of animatronic, and they express feelings to help people who are having issues with depression. So I think that is kind of where robots really are taking off, because we have an aging population. I mean, nowhere more than Japan. Japan has an obsession, if I can say that word, with robots. And they're moving into, because they have such a large aging population, getting older, that it's a sector where robots are really kind of going in there.
I never really thought of that. Like, that would be a great thing. I mean, it doesn't replace a human care, but it can certainly help.
Well, there's been a recent movie with Robot and Frank, which was exactly about this. A robot working with an elderly jewel thief, it turned out to be, and then they became friends, they bonded together. I mean, we're still not at that stage where robots can, bond with you and they become like a surrogate son to people, but in a sense, that's what you would want for healthcare.
Well, I don't know if that would be necessarily good, though, in terms of psychologically. You don't want to get attached to something that's really not real.
That's been one of the problems. There's a whole branch of psychology that is now looking at this. What are the what psychologically happens. I mean, in the military, the Department of Defense has done a lot of research where they're finding that the soldiers that are, the flyers that are flying these drones are getting more depressed than actually fighter jet pilots that are flying real jets, because they're seeing who they're having combats against. While with the droids, you're seeing it on a TV screen, it's kind of like a video game, and then the realization comes later on that, well, we were fighting in the field. And
wow. Well, it's all fascinating stuff. I hope you come back and explain some more.
Sure.
That was just very, very interesting. Jose Lopez, always a pleasure.
Thank you,
Good
Mia.
friend to Ebru today.